All right, good morning, my dogs. It is 8:53. It is March 7th. It is Jobs Friday. The jobs numbers are done, which is nice. It's nice to have another binary event out of the way. My name is Scott Redler. I'm the Chief Strategic Officer of T3Lab.com, as well as the founder of Red Dog Mindset. Listen, I think a lot of traders are a little battered and bruised from the week. I get it. Some days provided really good opportunities. Some days felt a little trappy. If you're worn out, take a breath. Okay, it is what it is. The market is had a pretty big discount. There were definitely lots of ways to adjust. Hopefully, you adjusted. I've trying in the public Twitter. I try and give you guys levels every single day and talk about sequences and talk about composure. And obviously, we ever since February 21st when we broke 607, the market's basically been pretty much for sale. 8-day moving average, which I've talked about, the moving average rules 1,000 times, has been resistance. So the active bears have been in control more than the active bulls. Let me see if I can put the video up here for the alpha team. I think StreamYard doesn't go here. You have to go actually, you have to actually go onto Twitter or YouTube. So anyway, I was hoping, I think a lot of the traders were hoping for some kind of like really weak number, like, only adding 50,000 jobs or something because of all the work that Doge is doing and all the, just wringing out the excess in the economy. I think somebody said, what is it, $38 trillion is our debt. So, they're trying to bring that in because obviously that can't be sustained. I'm not going to get into politics and the economics of it. All I know is that, we are down about 7%-ish off the highs. The historical average for pullbacks from highs over the past 30 years or since 2029. Hold on, I'm just looking at the trade. Is what's it called? Is like 13%. So the question is, is 7 or 8% enough? Doesn't feel like it, to be honest. Like this doesn't feel like a major inflection point for the year. It feels like just a de-risking of the trade. Lots of names feel worse than the indices, and we're in this process where you could make a little bit of money long or short, or lose a little bit of money long or short, or lose a lot. It depends on, the type of trades you're putting on or the mistakes you're making. So anyway, for today, what do we know today? So this is what we know today. So here's a chart of the SPYs. Take a look here. If you want to frame it out, this is, 572 doesn't really matter anymore. This is 570. Here's 572. This was 573. Right now, the SPYs are up 30 whole cents. So that means there's going to be a lot of back and forth, a lot of figuring out. You have Fed speakers today. I think you have Powell at 12:30. You still have a lot more tariffs are just starting. I feel like, they're going to try and do a little tough love. It looks like the administration wants some tough love. So after an enormous move, over the past, multiple years, will we get even just the average down, which is like 13%. So anyway, here's 570. We're $3 above it. I'm personally not looking to really be short now because we're already down a bunch and I want to catch the other side of the trade in case. We did have a bunch of puts, into this move. This was a nice one, and then I got a little caught long on Wednesday into Thursday, and now we'll see. What are some of the clues to the day? Watching the video. If NVDA can't hold up $1 and breaks 110, chances are maybe we get a downside move. If right now NVIDIA has been very broken, NVIDIA has given us a lot of clues to the action of the day. Remember post earnings, it couldn't hold 133, and then had a little last Friday, gave you a little bit of a reversal, and then it's been working its way lower. So Avago, is up 14. If both of these names can't hold up, then if they break NVIDIA lower, then chances are, Scott, it could be a little bit. Okay. Anyway, so, so NVIDIA, and this will be interesting. Can they break these down? Can there be downside follow through? If NVIDIA breaks 110 and stays below, there's going to be some sloppy downside selling. So watch those two. Then other key names that I'm watching, Tesla's already at a new low. Tesla's been working lower. Some people like, Red Dog, how did this happen? Well, if you look at the technicals, obviously pre-election, post-election was awesome, was above the 8-day, moved higher. You could have been a buyer, you could have been adding. Has changed. Okay, what changed? Well, first you had a Red Dog reversal sell, lower high, lower high, lower high, lower high, broke support, broke the double bottom, and now all of a sudden, Tesla is, where's Tesla right now? Somebody asked me. Tesla is down 3. So for today, Does it stay below 260? It's already below it. Does it reclaim it to relieve some pressure for a day trade, or does it work towards 255 or even towards this gap area? It did get a double upgrade, and it's still, down a bunch, down almost 4. So watch that, so we'll see. Amazon is pretty close to breaking this 197. Does it hold 197 or not? I'll look to see if it does. I was hoping we would have only raised small amount of jobs. Could have been a job scare with down 70, 80 handles, and we could have been, instant gratification buying in the hole near 190, 192. I put some bids in lower that we're gonna have to work for now if it's gonna happen. Who knows if it's gonna happen? The oscillator went out at minus 39. Okay, which is oversold but not extreme, so hard to press, but it's not like we're minus 70. We were minus 70 on Tuesday. Now we're trying to see what's going on. A lot of people are like, hey, Red Dog, when are you putting your wife's blood in the street account to work? I'm like, well, I like to do it with certain parameters. First of all, I need a close on the dead lows. Okay, I need the market because the account's over at Bright House, which is where she had it when she worked at UMD&J. So I need a close on the dead lows. If we get a close on the dead lows today, which I'm not saying we will, but if we do, you know what? Like near 565, and this is close to 8 or 9% off highs, I'll put tier 1 to work. I'll put tier 1 to work just because it's in a 3.8% rider. I'd saved, 8-9%, and I'll put it in there with 2 more tiers just in case, this goes for another few months, because it might. We're not at extremes. We're not at that 90%, crazy down day, et cetera, et cetera. We've had de-risking. Money's been going to Europe. Money's been going to China. Somebody said, hey, you want to look at, Baba. Actually, I did this with the SPYs the other day. You go to the weekly chart. Okay, you could really, check it out. So these are my levels on the weekly chart. On the weekly chart, all we did is we did a little red dog reversal here. Remember, that was one clue. And then we broke below that low candle of 599. That told you on the weekly to get out of the way. And now we're testing the lower end of the range. Here's 565-ish. That's 8% off highs. That's a spot. That was also, if you remember, that was some resistance before we broke above it in September in 2024. So this would be a likely spot, which it would make sense. Last time we had a pullback to this was 2020. So this would be an opportunity for me to put a third in, and hopefully the parameters are there for some really good trades. We'll see. If it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. I'm very patient. I have a 401k I put every month in. I have a 403b with my wife every month, 529. My son's a sophomore every month. Blood in the street. I want blood in the street. I started a little bit too early during the pandemic, and this is not anywhere near. We were down 35% off highs. This, I could see us down 13, 14% off highs at some point this year, which wouldn't be the worst. So I want to just wait, and we'll see. So anyway, that's that. Next real area would be like 542, and then you have 528. So these are the 3 areas I map out ahead of time. But overall, it's been good to de-risk, and it's still, you can still lose money in trading. It's still kind of hard. Anyway, let's go back to the daily. What happens here at 570? I personally think that it's, with this job short, it's gonna be really hard to get some real downside follow through today. We're a little oversold. It's a Friday, et cetera, et cetera. It wasn't like this was a disaster. So we'll see. If it pushes below, holds a 200-day, maybe we get a low to trade against, and there'll be just a good tactical trade, but not like an inflection point for the year. Not everything's an inflection point. Some things are just trades. Anyway, what else am I going to look at? Apple is not holding the keys to the day, but it's kind of tight. Does Apple hold 233? If not, here's 229 from earlier in the week. Google and Microsoft have been a little bit stronger, so it's worth looking. JP Morgan, some people are like, hey, what about the banks, Red Dog? Well, most people got out of JP Morgan when it broke 275. It then came in, got rejected into the 8 and 21 day. So I would say watch 243. Does 243 hold? If it doesn't, that'll put some more pressure on the banks. So that's JP Morgan. And we'll see. Again, it's going to be very choppy. You have the Qs only down 17 cents. You have the SPYs now down $1, which is a little bit more interesting. Somebody said, what about the levels in the Qs? Okay, the Qs, 486.20 is the recent low. It's been playing with the 200-day. If it gets below this and stays below it, you're probably going to see some selling in tech. 477 is the next spot below. Qs have been leading us lower. If we rallied, there was some room to 498, but I don't think we have anything so, crazy like that, but we'll see. IWM has been a disaster. I haven't even looked at it, but I guess if you want to look at the IWM, does it hold 203.91? Most of my guys got short here at 222 and been out of the way. It's been below the 8-day. I don't care what Tom Lee says. You can't just be an uber bullish. The same way Mike Wilson was uber bearish. You can't be uber bullish. You have to be an uber trader, and you have to, use your levels. And again, the moving averages rules help. Palantir will be interesting. Does it hold this 78-ish area? If it doesn't hold the 78 area, it looks more like a bear flag than something that could have retraced higher. This was a pretty bearish candle yesterday. I did get caught. I was a little long and I got stopped out in Palantir yesterday. We'll see what it does today. 78's big, and then here's the 100-day. Dash, although I love it long term, technically you can't really love it. Maybe there's a trade. Why? Well, it broke 209.75, got rejected, broke below 191, and then broke below the 50-day. That's what that's what trading's happening here. You could still think it's going to be 255 in September, but there's a lot of time between now and September, so we'll see. If you trade actively for a living, you have to obey the levels, obey moving averages, obey trend lines, use a tier system, figure out what sequence are we in. Let me sell some of my dogs. Who's hanging out here? Let's see. I know this isn't the 630 club. This is a quick little one. We got PJ Shannon. This is a bottoming in process. Okay. Upward Drift says, thanks for the special bulletin. Cool. PJ. Space. Dennis. What up, Tony? Much damage done. Yeah, it takes time to heal. I hear you. That's why you can't be jumping out of your skin. Sometimes you just need to make a little bit of money. Make a little bit of money. You're not always swinging for the fences. Make a little bit of money. Feel good. So we'll see. And those of you guys, by the way, this has been the 5th week of the Red Dog Mindset. For those of you who subscribed, I get to do a nice workout with my dogs from around the world. People love it. They love hydrating in the water, hearing early thoughts at 5:20. Usually there's no one up at 5:20. I'm in the sauna. I actually did a video I'm going to post this weekend from my actual, gym that I have in my basement, where for 20 minutes we do a full body workout with music. We get our mind right. We start thinking clearly to burn off the prior day, to get ready with multiple plans, letting into the 630 club or into the alpha team or into the morning call. We do a lot of content. Everyone picks and chooses what they want to do. Anyway, someone's asking about, Bitcoin. So here's the thing. So I think there are some people a little upset that, yes, there will be a strategic reserve, but it's for the confiscated Bitcoin, from the thieves or whatever. So at least it's not being sold into the market, which would put pressure on it. But, I think people want to hear that they were going to be buying Bitcoin, but at some point they might, but not in this announcement. So that's why I was down after hours, but right now it's not. So see if this holds up. This is at 51. This can also give you some clues to the day. So far, nobody missed anything. And if anything, everyone was buying. There was a $7 move priced in to the jobs report. So right now, everyone who sold premiums winning, people who bought not so winning. Anyway, we'll see what the day brings. But as long as IBIT holds 49.76, I think that, it's still kind of in the game. I do think long-term Bitcoin, you could put monthly flows in like an asset allocator with gold. For a living trading wise though, it's got to be above this 49-ish area for it to eventually maybe take out, higher prices. What's up, Space Specialist? What up, Retail Rick? Anyway, so I guess, this is kind of good. It's good and bad. No like sloppy craziness that you could have got sloppy trades into areas for quick money. But again, now if the composure shows us that, hey, we're oversold enough for a little Friday bounce, we'll figure that out. We know our key suspects. If all of a sudden nobody really wants these levels here, then we'll see what kind of price discovery we have to the downside. And that's where we're at. It's 9:07. If you had a tough week, listen, get over it. It's March 7th. It's only the first quarter. You got 3 more quarters. You still have a whole month. We're still in this, grindy down move where, there's been things to do, but it hasn't been the easiest. I know a lot of traders from all around the world. I spoke to most of them, and no one's really killing it. The hedge funds out there are also down a lot of monies. Market 7%. So take a breath. It happens. And then once things start to pan out, and if you're not a great short, there will be areas that provide enormous opportunities. Enormous. But if you're a shell of yourself and your mind's not right and you're worn out, you're never going to see it. So it's up to you to keep yourself, on the right page, moving forward, relaxed. Otherwise, when the pitch comes that you're really good at swinging at, you're going to miss it because you're going to be I don't know, you're going to be in the dugout chewing some tobacco or something. Anyway, so once again, we'll see what happens here with the Spies. Watch it very close. I kind of don't think that there's going to be enough selling pressure, enough ammunition for the Spies to like really get too much below this. And if we do rally, it's not like all of a sudden, the world's hunky dory. So 580 would be a spot that'd be really hard. 585 would be like a brick wall. Right now, I wouldn't be even surprised if we get an inside-ish type day. So we'll see how it goes. Again, and then there's a lot of Fed speakers happening. I think Powell's at 12:30. And watch the leaders. Is NVDA, going to hold up? Where's NVDA right now? NVIDIA, I looked before. It's not like anyone's in a rush here. It's up $1.22. Does it reclaim this 112, 113 area and get above 115? That would show some power. Can anything show power? Or is everything just a choppy, monotonous trade? If it were to go red and break 110, then there's a lot of room. So does Avago hold up? So you know what to look at. Keep your expectations low, and if all of a sudden the market turns into a great trading day today, whatever that means to you, that'll be great for a Friday. If not, you know what? We'll see what happens next week and the week after, and we'll just keep doing our job. Your job is to stay even keel. Your job is to be prepared. Your job is to have a routine that you love every day. Your job is not to get too negged out. Your job is not to go home and kick the dog or smack your spouse. Your job is to say, hey, I have gratitude for the day. Every day above ground's a good day. And, choppy times lead into better times. And if you are a good short, congratulations. Every rally's been sold into the 8-day, and hopefully, this is your time to shine, because long-term, the bull market wins. Yes, it does, my friends. And long-term, more money's made on the long side than the short side, even though short side could be fast and furious at times. So know what you're good at, work on what you're bad at, and, don't have too much FOMO, because, there's always going to be another trade. There's always going to be another day. And, got to make sure you're thinking clearly and in your seat, ready to go when the time is right. Go time, my dogs. And it also helps if you win the morning, you could win the day, and then you could do that day in and day out. I appreciate you guys.